Hello, everybody. Live from Koreatown on an overcast day after lots and lots and lots of sun. It is the OZone. I'm your host, Omar Miller, and I'm here with my brother, the Icons, back at you. We took a little break. We're working on some restructuring for you folks, some re-identification that we think you will enjoy.
Okay.
How you feeling?
Awesome.
Awesome sauce.
This is freaking awesome.
Shout out to Macklemore. So we got a bit to cover. The NBA playoffs have started. Major League Baseball is back. Sorry, folks. We had a lot of wind out here. It's really messed up my allergies. We got some boxing to cover. A couple suspect decisions that went down over the past couple weeks. And I think we want to start off right off the top. Ladies and gentlemen, Russell Wilson signed his deal.
Got his money.
He got his bag, and he got that money.
Got his money.
And he is the highest paid player. Person party of the party.
In person.
He's the highest paid player in all the NFL. And I think justifiably so.
I'm not mad at it at all. Why am I mad at that? Because he really earned it. I mean, the guy went to the Super Bowl, twice now?
Went to the Super Bowl twice. You could argue.
Could have won both of them.
Yeah, he won one of them. Could have won both of them. I mean, honestly, I feel like they could have went to the Super Bowl a third time that year that San Francisco went.
Right.
But you know what? I can't understand any of the hate. I'm hearing a lot of people that sound like they're mad that Russell Wilson is the highest paid quarterback in the game and the highest paid player in the game.
Why do you think that is that they're hating on this young man?
It's tough to see that it's tough to not see that he's underappreciated.
Right.
Russell Wilson, and I was devastated to find this out. We knew that their strategy for the past 3 years seems to have been to hike the ball and for him to improvise. And now you come to find they have the last ranked offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah.
The last.
Yes, and he has done nothing in the past 3 years to improve it. That's why they run the ball so much, but their running game is really not effective. You're talking about probably, I don't even think they average 3 yards a carry or something like that.
Wow. So this is why it was imperative for them to go grab Big Dwayne Brown. And so they picked up Dwayne, but they need a lot more help up there if Russell's going to be able to actually sit back, which we saw for the early part of his career when Russell Wilson can actually sit back,
have time to read the field,
even if he doesn't have an A+ receiver, he's going to win games.
He makes do.
Yeah, he does.
He's a great quarterback. I've always felt like he was one of the best in the league.
Is he the best all-around player in the league?
Maybe.
Yeah. This is when you look at it, it's hard to – the guy wins 10 games a year regardless of who they have.
Whatever talent they have. They don't have a running game. They don't have an offensive line.
And their defense has been busted up the last
their defense is suspect.
3-4 years.
And he doesn't have a top-notch wide receiver. No disrespect to Doug Baldwin, but he's not like the guy that you are going to build your team around.
Right.
He's not Antonio Brown or Julio Jones or any of these guys.
Right.
So you're talking about him hiking the ball literally without a scheme and trying to figure it out on the fly in the NFL.
And he gets it done.
He gets it done well. He's a stud. And now he's getting stud money. And he didn't even threaten them to get this contract done or any of that.
No, he just said that, hey, I have a deadline and then that's it.
If you don't get it, then I got to go.
What can we do?
They said that they felt like he didn't want to be there anymore.
And then they opened up the pocketbooks.
And now he's chipped up.
Man, I don't think he was asking for a loan earlier, but certainly not now. 35 per, 65 guaranteed.
65 guaranteed.
And that's the thing about Russell
65
Wilson.
was the signing bonus,
he's
wasn't it?
Super durable.
Wasn't 65 the signing bonus?
I don't know if it works like that in football.
He got a signing bonus.
Yeah, but I don't think the 65 is a signing bonus. I think it was guaranteed money.
I'm going to look that up, dude.
Because I think the 65, I don't know how you get paid in the NFL, but it's a guarantee as opposed to his annual. His annual is at 35. So basically, you now have Russell Wilson making Clayton Kershaw money, making Manny Machado, Bryce Harper money. And I actually think that it's very, very valid. The fact that he doesn't get hurt can't be overstated in the NFL.
Right. And the fact that he needs this money for after the game, it's just very, very important when you put yourself on the line like that playing football. Football is a serious contact sport, even more so maybe than boxing, because these guys do it, 16 times, at least 16 times a year. and every bang up is like the equivalent of a car crash.
Yeah, but boxing, there's only one person and one person. There's not a.
But everybody makes contact in football. The only person that doesn't make contact is the field goal kicker, right?
Yeah, but it's I don't know. They're both contact sports, so that's
not to knock neither one of them. I'm just saying that football players actually they end up with bad backs and bad knees and brain damage that we come to find now. They end up with the whole package. Their body is destroyed, not just
it's a combo platter.
Yeah, you got a number 4.
NFL special. Pick it up. Yeah, I am all for it, and he's still in a productive age. If they actually give him any help, Russell Wilson will send you to the Super Bowl.
So yes, 4 years, $140 million, quarterback, NFL's highest paid player with $65 million signing bonus.
$65 million guaranteed. The signing bonus.
Yeah.
Put your name on the dotted line.
I'm good money.
I'm good.
What you want from me?
Wow,
solid.
Yeah, brother. Well, congratulations to Russell Wilson. He's been the talk of the town all over social media because he decided to go Teddy Pendergrass with making his announcement.
He's a grown man.
He's an adult.
What do you want from him?
Russell
sometimes he likes to partake of adult beverages as well. With my girl.
With my wife.
Yes.
With his wife.
With his wife.
He's an adult.
I'm a grown man. Taco meat and all.
Taco meat
now
is out.
What?
Now I'm going to go to sleep. I'll see y'all in the morning because that's when
you
I
guys
train.
go to bed. I thought you guys when to go to bed. Y'all go to sleep.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no, but I think it's a good move, and it'll be interesting to see if Seattle does anything whatsoever in the draft. Seattle sports have an interesting way about them. From running off the basketball team to the way that the baseball team always shows flashes and flourishes of acting like they're serious. Seattle is the one that can get it done, and they got it done as far as the Seahawks go. And if I'm a Seahawks fan, I think this is a good move.
It's a great move if you're a Seahawks fan. I'm just watching Russell Wilson highlights. It's just unbelievable, dude.
It's mesmerizing. It'd be nice if you could participate in the podcast, though, bro.
I'm here. I'm here in spirit.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a big deal. And, over the past couple of weeks, there's so many shakeups in the NFL that we haven't necessarily covered. I kind of hate the idea that the NFL is 24/7, 365, but it's a genius marketing.
I'm not mad at it. I feel like all the sports should be 24/7,
You're a junkie, dude.
Yeah, I am. But, why wouldn't you want to have your favorite sports 24/7,
No.
365?
There's plenty of people. I'm just saying that they hijack a lot of headlines.
That's shame on other sports.
And you have, but you look at it, and for example, out of nowhere, AB decided to talk about Juju. And
he went crazy on Juju fruit.
He went juicy fruit, went up the middle. It looked like Juju was blindsided. He went Quentin Aaron. He didn't know. And there's always something to talk about in football, which is great if you're a football head.
And but a lot of times what they talk about most are the negative things. And then now they even found a negative in this guy getting paid finally. I mean,
they found plenty of negatives.
You're not going to really go out and be able to replace Russell Wilson with anybody.
No.
That's going to be better than him. You could say Tom Brady, but honestly, I would rather if you give him
if
the
you
right
give them
tools,
both the same teams.
Yes, and the same coaching, Russell Wilson will be better than Tom Brady. I know that
no,
would offend a lot of people,
yeah,
but it's
I
the
agree.
truth. Because he's a better athlete. He has a great mentality. He has a great IQ for the game. And these guys, the league doesn't give him respect.
The league has never given him respect.
No.
From the time he came in.
I feel like even his coach doesn't give him respect by not getting the offensive line and then giving him a scheme.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get an offensive line. You have to figure out you need to run the run and shoot or something,
Right. Right now they're running the scramble. It's every time you turn on the Seahawks game, it looks like a
he'd run
game
for his life
that you're playing with your friends on asphalt in the street.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then I'm going to hike it, and I'm going to go left. I'm going to go right. I'm going to just try to juke him and move. And it's that kind of thing. What can you do? But for me, that's enough football because there's so much other stuff going on. The only time we really talk about basketball, folks, is when the playoffs are happening. And part of that has to do with the idea that basketball has become predictable in a lot of ways. But in this playoff situation, we've seen a lot of non-predictable things happen.
Yep.
Shout out to Miles down in Miami because he's a huge Sixers fan. And I've been texting him back and forth because he was devastated by the Sixers losing that first game because he was not devastated. He was actually surprised, but not surprised.
Really?
Because he feels like they're a poorly coached team. And I speak to a lot of people about this, and they seem to think that Brett Brown is not the guy
Yeah, and the
to
rumor
get
mill
those
is
young
that,
guys over the hump.
Yeah, and the rumor mill is that he doesn't get out this first round. He's gone.
I don't even think that should be a rumor. They should actually announce that.
He knows.
Ruben should
Word
announce
on the street.
that. Because if you have that squad, a full-blown all-star squad in the Philadelphia 76ers, there's no way you can't get out of the first round. I mean, once they got Jimmy Butler, you felt like they should win the East.
Yeah, and on paper, they have the best team in the league.
They have a big man. They have a superstar scorer.
The best big man in the league right now.
Best big man in the league, superstar scorer, a formidable young point guard who is at past first point guard.
Well, they have two superstar scorers, though. You have Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is
not a superstar, but he is a star scorer.
Well, let's give him all-star in.
Yes, that's fine. That's all good.
But he puts the ball in the hole.
He puts the ball in the hole. So does Joel Embiid,
yeah.
and so does Jimmy Butler.
So there is no excuse for this team not to win. I feel like the Boston.
There's no excuse to be on the bench looking at your cell phone in the game.
Because you play too much.
What are we doing? I have a problem with that.
I'm making calls.
If we're playing on
I'm
Sunday,
on the gram, IG.
I'm on the gram. I can't believe how she looks.
Devastated.
I'm devastated. She's too pretty. And I'm getting blown out by 30 because my focus ain't right.
Because you're supposed to be focusing on the game.
Yeah, you need to focus on the game. So they got him a win yesterday. Where do you think this series goes?
76ers should have the win. I mean, that's not even a
should, but
they should. I mean,
the Nets really are overachievers.
Yeah, the Nets are overachievers.
And they're good.
Realistically, you can just give Jimmy Butler the ball and let him take over. This seems to be a problem with teams, though, because that era of giving the guy the ball like a Jimmy Butler or LeBron or whatever, they don't want to do it anymore. They want I don't know what it is that they want, but they don't want a guy like Jimmy Butler to take control of the game like he could and should. If you give Jimmy Butler the ball, he's just like LeBron James or any of these other guys. You saw the numbers he put up.
Well, I think the issue is this is another downside of the mega team.
Because he doesn't play one-on-one ball. He plays team ball. And both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but this is the issue with having the super teams. So when you have the super team, there's so many focuses to get their points. There's only one ball.
Right.
And the super team puts you in a position where Tobias Harris needs to touch the ball. J.J. Redick needs to touch the ball. Ben Simmons is supposed to be touching the ball the most, but he's looking to score.
He's a little timid.
Then you have you can see he's insecure. I mean, the kid's 20 years old, so you can't really be mad at him.
I'm not mad.
Then you have the big man who, in my opinion, more so than Jimmy Butler, the offense needs to begin and end through Joel Embiid because there's nobody who can stop him.
Yeah, but you're dreaming now because they don't play basketball like that anymore.
Yeah, but this is the thing. How do they play the game if they don't want to give the ball to the swing scorer and they also don't want to give the ball to the big man?
Just run back and forth and shoot threes.
It's like an NBA Live 2019 convention.
It is. You basically just go and three it up.
But they don't seem like they shoot excess threes.
It's not excess, but every team out there in the league shoots a bunch of threes, and the big man is non.
What I'm saying is if you pound Joel Embiid inside,
no question, he'll foul everybody out of the game.
And then Jimmy Butler runs a total muck.
He has to.
Because he's to the rack.
He has his way with you.
He does.
Jimmy. Well, him and Tobias.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about literally, if you find the right coach for that team and set up a nice system, they're unstoppable. They're literally unbeatable. You can send Embiid down there to the post, have Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler with a dominant point guard. Come on, man. It's too much.
It's not too much now because it's the series is in flux. Now, I would say that the Clippers pulled off a miracle last night. They came back. They went down 31, and this is another testament to grit and grind. But also, I texted some people last night, and not only did the Warriors take an L in the game, the Warriors took an L as an organization last night.
Why is that?
Because Boogie looked like he really got hurt.
Oh, he tore his quad.
It's torn. It's official.
It's official.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah.
Dunsky.
They said
it looked like it rolled up on him.
Yeah.
It looked like Miguel Cotto's arm and bicep in Miguel Cotto's last fight.
MRI confirms torn quad for Boogie.
Lights out. And now, personally, I don't believe in this incarnation of the Warriors in the same way without him.
Well, they have too much dissension. They had too much dissension going on.
But see, but it seems like they got all that over with, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe the Boogie was the reason why they got over it, because a lot of those guys weren't playing and plugging and playing at the same time. Now they're going to have to come back as a unit like they were before to try to compete and to get this title. I feel like they're very vulnerable right now.
I think so, too. I think Boogie needs to talk. I think the Warriors need to talk.
No, I don't want to hear that.
We need to talk. I'm vulnerable. I'm sensitive right now. But I think that's what I think about the Warriors. Honestly, they're still the Warriors. You still have Kevin Durant. You still have Steph Curry. You still have Klay Thompson. You still have Draymond Green.
Steph is lighting it up.
I mean, it's a formidable squad. And honestly, I think it could go either way. I think they either play great now or they actually are in trouble. If you're the Rockets, if the Rockets can actually get to play them in the next round like they're supposed to, this is the Rockets' best chance ever to beat the Warriors.
James Harden's not going to do nothing.
I mean, is it another early D'Antoni exit?
Of course. Anybody who buys that, man.
I don't know. With the way that the teams play.
Yeah.
Because what I can tell you is now you're about to see the Warriors put it up. The threes are about to fly. No one is worried. Yeah, but that's part of his game. But nobody's worried about getting the big man involved. Right. And Boogie did a lot. I watched a lot of Warriors games.
He started getting himself in shape, and he was a monster.
Even without the lift that he had. Now, what I would love to know is, what's the chances that his quad tore on him because of being back too early from the Achilles?
I don't believe that.
No?
But maybe we can get Dr. Don on to find out. But I just feel like that maybe he was favoring it a little bit.
That would be because of the Achilles. That's how it works. When you favor stuff, that's how other stuff gets messed up.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's a direct thing from the Achilles like that. That's in your mind at that point. That's not actually you being injured. It's you just using one side of your body more so than the other because of...
Which is from the thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't agree. That's how it works when you get hurt.
Yeah, but it's not a direct physical thing. It's something mental. So you're leaning on the mentality, which you shouldn't have because the injury is over. It's gone.
Clearly, the injury wasn't gone. I watched Boogie play a lot, and he didn't have the same lift that he had before.
Yeah, but the injury was gone. It's just that he healed and he's older, and the damage is set in. That's it.
That means the injury isn't gone, T.
The injury is gone. He's healed. If you're healed, the injury is gone, right?
No.
What is the heal then?
When you're healed, you're back. He's not back.
He was back.
He wasn't back.
That's what you get when you come back. When you're at his age and his stage, he's healed. That's it.
It's over. I think Boogie is done. I think it's over.
Wow, you write my boy off like that.
Yeah, I think Boogie's done. When the big guy keeps getting hurt, it's a problem. And this is something. So this torn quad, in my opinion, I think he needs to stay out for an adequate amount of time to heal. He needs to fully heal.
He was out for a year. That's usually an adequate amount of time.
He was not out for a year with the Achilles.
Achilles, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Look it up. That was the whole big thing. You don't remember? That was
I remember. I played
look it
against
up.
him in fantasy sports.
Look it up. Look up the date that he hurt his Achilles and the date that he came back to play. You don't remember how big of a deal that it was in the NBA that Boogie was back already? Remember when they put up that footage of him dunking on Kevin Durant? And it was like, geez, Boogie got back quick.
No, I don't, because he was right on schedule from when he got
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
A year is what it usually takes to come back as a professional athlete from the Achilles. And Boogie was back in the game seemingly early, but this is why they were easing him back in and letting him play, which was great, But I think...
Yeah, see, towards Achilles, January 26th or something like that.
January 26th of 2018.
Yeah.
And when did he play?
Let me see when.
Because if you remember, if you can Google Boogie Cousins practicing again, and it was like that was the big news, was that he was ahead of schedule.
Yeah, he could practice, and he was practicing. They didn't bring him back in time. They just brought him back slowly. He was already able to walk around and stuff, but you have to start getting game prepared.
Yeah,
but he wasn't. But he wasn't. He came back on the schedule. It wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. He was healed.
I don't think he was healed, and I think that's why he bust down that quad, that Quadiana. Bust down Quadiana. Bust down Quadiana. He bust down, and it rolled up on him. It wasn't right.
But that can happen at any time, though.
It can happen. It's unfortunately, it can happen.
Especially with the big men. Big men always have leg problems.
Yeah, it's just par for the course.
Yeah. Big men and guys with speed.
It's kind of like Yao Ming with his foot problem when you're that tall. But so if we continue around the league, I'm really disappointed in Utah.
Why?
Because they have a big man who Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
He's too European. I take my big man game light. He's not. He doesn't give me that dominant big man that I like to see.
He gives you today's big man.
He gives you today's,
and he's great at it.
He is.
He's putting it on you.
Yeah, but that gets you ran by the Rockets, which doesn't make any sense.
No,
for that team.
That's not his fault though. That's their scheme because you have to go.
That only works in Utah.
Yeah, but you have to not go after the Rockets. The Warriors are built to beat the Rockets
in that way.
Yeah,
in the run and gun way.
Yeah, if you're going to be now, what you're saying to me is that you need to slow the game down and go to the post.
Pound.
Yeah, and pound. I agree with the old school way of playing, but it's just not the way that they do it anymore.
Yeah, but it would still be effective. But
I don't even think the refs can even control it. They don't even know. They don't even know how to
What is that?
Yeah, big man move.
Oh man, a guy like David Robinson would destroy the league now because he was always the athletic big man.
Yeah.
So you have that. I think that Rockets series. I think the Rockets get them out of there in 5.
Yeah.
The Rockets. I don't see anything stopping them. And honestly, without Boogie, I don't see necessarily anything except for D'Antoni stopping them from beating the Warriors.
Because he's going to want to out-3 the Warriors.
And eventually you're going to go over 27 again.
And I think that although I don't really care for the league like it is now because everybody scores way too many points, but
the Clippers put up 85 points in the second half last night.
Come on, man, it's ridiculous. It should only be allowed in a game. But the thing,
which is why to switch over. Just remember where you are. But which is why I really, really like Boston.
Yeah,
but Boston just won a game 84-76 or something like that.
Well, Milwaukee's the same way. Milwaukee's going to be tough because they don't rely on threes.
Right.
You got the Greek Freak down there pounding you on the inside. A lot of foul trouble. A lot of times him going to the line.
It's just not enough can't be said about the foul trouble element of going to the rack.
No, because you get the primetime players out.
Which is what James Harden is great at. People hate it, but he does go to the rack.
He does go to the rack, but he cries about calls.
I think that's the part that people hate. Yeah. I do respect him going to the rack. And honestly, if James Harden doesn't get it done this year, I don't know.
You finished.
I'm not, at the top of the fan club as far as that style of basketball, but this is the year for them to get it done.
This is an opportunity.
This is it. The window is there.
But I don't think they're still decent teams. What about the Clippers? You think they can
beat
the Clippers?
No, you're saying, do I think the Warriors can beat the Clippers?
No, I'm saying that if the Clippers got by the Warriors, do you think that Houston can beat the Clippers?
They can. The Clippers have a focus issue. They don't have which is how they got down 30 last night.
Now, is it a focus issue or a consistency issue or what is that?
To me, a consistency issue is a focus issue. That's the only reason you can't be good. If you can be good sometimes, you could be good all the time. But there's a focus problem that stops you from being good all the time. So I think that. I don't think the Clippers are going to get past the Warriors, but wouldn't it be ironic if this year was the year that LeBron James didn't make it to the playoffs and the Warriors didn't make it out of the playoffs?
Right?
That would be amazing. That would be crazy. Keeping it moving, like I said, I like Boston. I liked how Boston won their game. And I mean, they are the best coach team in the, I would say they're the best coach team in the East. I'd probably argue in the NBA other than the Spurs because the Spurs are play better than they are.
Yeah. They shouldn't even be there right now. And you look at D'Antoni, Popovich, I'm sorry, Pop, for even putting you in that categories, but you look at him, he walks around on the sideline, he's feeling it, he's just loving the game and calling the game.
Focused.
He's focused. And his team's focused, and they have a bunch of guys out there that shouldn't even be competitive with today's NBA, but they're getting it done. They're not shooting 10,000 threes. And
the system.
Yeah, it's a system, and it works.
It works.
It's sort of like the same thing that Luke Walton is going through now because he didn't really have a system. He hasn't been able to incorporate the system, and now
if we go there, we can talk about Luke Walton. And honestly, Luke Walton got scooped up immediately by ex-Laker Vlade Divac and the Sacramento Kings.
Vlade, know what time it is.
And if you look at it, Luke Walton never had a chance. He's been catering to the superstar his entire coaching tenure.
Yes.
One superstar who he played with / under, who had the leg up on him in Kobe Bryant and who aged out. And then they brought in, then there was nobody. Which those Lakers teams were actually really exciting to watch, but they made improvements. And then you have LeBron James, who you have to wonder if he's uncoachable at this point.
Obviously, and I love LeBron James.
Yeah,
but the thing of it is that when you get a talent like that, he might be too big. He might be too big for his britches, as the old folks would say.
Right.
And what can you really tell him about playing the game? I felt like it was Magic Johnson's fault in the first place, and that's why I felt like he was responsible for falling on the sword to take it for the team. But you have to bring him in there and give him a rundown of what you're expecting of him. You can't bring him in there and say, hey, listen, you're going to be part of the decision-making and everything else, because when you do that, then what happens?
You're conceding a lot of power.
You're conceding a lot of power. And you
and
give it
there's
to
only
a guy
a handful of guys who ever, superstars, who can take that power and actually use it for good.
Instead of evil.
Like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, because
they made Magic Johnson a part of it. Magic was like, great, let's go win.
Yeah.
But you give Tom Brady that kind of conversation, he's like, great, let's go win. There's only a handful of guys who actually can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because what you're doing
who can resist.
Yeah, and you're asking a guy like LeBron to make decisions, and it's for some reason you get clouded,
Yeah.
Because you're in the game.
Yeah.
And
you need to be outside of the game.
You need to be outside of the box to be able to see what's going on.
Which is what happened down in Miami, it seems like.
Mm-hmm,
because he wasn't going to tell Pat Riley who to get or how to play or what to do, even with the young coach in Spoelstra.
Because now they're rumoring that, they might bring Tyronn Lue in.
Yeah.
For what? Just because you need a yes man?
More or less. It's like working in Hollywood, and we have a lot of actors who are the megastar actors who then in turn actually direct their movies and the television shows that they're on, even though they don't get a director credit. So they just have somebody there to fill in the title of director while this guy tells everybody what to do. And
what can you do?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a tricky spot. I mean, you called the Magic Johnson thing from the word go.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate because I knew that Luke Walton was going to be the one who got burnt from it.
Right.
But somebody snapped him up ASAP. Everybody can see what's going on. He had Kobe Bryant. He had LeBron James. He never got a chance to incorporate his system. I don't even know if he has a system. He might not even have a system,
right.
but we don't know. He hasn't been given a chance.
Right.
And then you can't bring in guys like that to just go ahead and take over and say, okay, well, Luke is not making the right decisions. LeBron is making the decision. Why is LeBron James bringing up the ball when you got Rajon Rondo and Lonzo Ball?
Magic Johnson, master politician or quitter?
Seth Lord.
Wow. Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, because he played everybody in the middle, and he played politics, and he's like a lot of what you're talking about now with the old style basketball. All these guys like Michael Jordan being the GM and part owner and everything else, they look at the things like the good old days. The good old days are over. These young guys aren't going to play in the post. They jump out the gym. They blow their legs out because everybody's, barely 200 pounds and 7 feet tall?
Light guys.
Yeah. So the game is transformed, but they haven't transformed with the game.
Because they were the greatest at the game.
Because they were the great
at the game's greatest point.
Hello.
So that then, since they were the best at the game's greatest point, they can't understand why the kids. Why
they can't understand it.
They can't understand why the kids just can't get it. But they can. That's how you end up with Kwame Brown.
That's how you end up with Kwame.
Who ended up with a case.
Did he?
Kwame just got caught with that weed.
Oh, you did say that.
He got caught with that weed, but it wasn't, I think it was for personal use, but I think he got caught up.
What state was he in?
It was not California, obviously.
He needs to stay out of whatever state that it's not.
Yeah, I want to say that he got caught up in transportation from a state where the weed was legal to a state where it was not, which sucks. Yeah. I don't think it was that Esteban Loaiza, but what can you do? So, yeah, the Lakers saga. This is going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, now what does it matter what coach you go get? Really.
If you let LeBron James run the team, it doesn't matter what coach you go get.
And what makes you think that they're not going to let him run the team?
There's nothing that makes you think that they're not going to let him run the team.
He's going to run.
And if you look at it in real life, the Lakers have always let their superstar run the team.
Yeah, but it
more
worked.
Or less.
Yeah, but it worked back in the day.
But it didn't work back in the day. I mean,
with Magic, not with Kobe.
That's what I was about to say. And so with Magic was such a team guy that Dr. Buss could feel that. It seems like Dr. Buss is a better judge of character than the Buss kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as the character of a player and then going into the next stage of that player's situation.
I think they just bought into the system or the idea that their father had planted in their head that you can trust the players to make good decisions.
This is what I'm saying. And it seems like Dr. Buss was a better character judge of that because he did that. The only time that Dr. Buss really let me down is when he sided with Kobe over Shaq.
Yeah, he let you down.
But they did go win 2 more rings because they went and found another stud big man and made some moves.
Yeah. But was that Kobe who made that decision? Or was that
No, it was Dr. Buss who made that decision.
Yeah, there you go.
And he also had a coach that was in charge more so than Wow, when you talk it out, Phil Jackson was actually in control of the team until Phil Jackson got fed up and bounced.
Yeah.
And then Kobe took over the team, and they never won anything. Wow. And then Kobe established his lawyer or his agent as the GM,
Just
thus
like
making
LeBron,
him
right?
the GM.
Doesn't LeBron? Was it Rob Pelinka?
Rob Pelinka is Kobe's old agent.
Yeah, but does he have anything to do with LeBron? Who's LeBron's agent now?
I do believe it's still Rich Paul and all those guys.
Yeah, and I think those guys have a huge or big thumb on what goes on in the organization as well, because it's almost like he has so many people in his stable that he can, sort of manipulate the league.
Yeah, for sure. But that's not the same as hiring the team directly hiring,
True story.
Yeah. Yeah, you had some good points that you made that it seemed like you feel like making about Magic now, but you had some great points about.
Refresh me.
It's too late, dude. It's your job to refresh you on your points, bro. But yeah, man, who'd have thought that the Clippers would be the team in the playoffs? Marcellus Wiley is somewhere dancing a jig. And so moving on, I think that Toronto will bounce back, but Toronto showed me by losing that first game to Orlando that they're not real. Serious. They're not real. They're not real.
This is the whole theater of the NBA, though, because
this is why it's so hard to watch.
Always fall for it. Now, now in the East,
now Portland looked real.
Yeah, Portland does look like a problem, but you got a dominant point.
And McCollum came back.
Yeah, and you Enes Kanter
and two big men.
Yeah.
Enes Kanter and what's his name, right?
Nurkic, he's hurt.
No, I know Nurkic's hurt. I thought they had another fill-in besides Kanter. Kanter went nuts.
Yeah,
and
you're crazy.
You could tell that was very personal for him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of teams that are real in the West. I think that they need to break them up into more divisions. You know what I'm saying? So that they don't have all of these great teams playing against each other.
I like the idea if they're going to allow 16 teams to make it, which is half the league.
Which is ridiculous.
And then you're going to make them play 7 games, which means that in every round, which means that the underdog advantage is actually out. Just imagine if this Clippers-Warriors series was a 5-game series. This would be serious pressure on the Warriors right now.
And a lot of trouble.
Oh, serious pressure on the Raptors. Serious pressure on the Sixers. You wouldn't have guys looking on their phone on the bench. This is serious. I'm really, really disappointed by that situation. He looked like he tricked Embiid. It looked like he was like, "Oh man, look at this." He's like, "Huh?
What's the play?"
Wait, what's it? It's an iPhone, bro. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever. The 5-game series is where it's at in the first round, other than just for time and body wear and tear. But I think that when you're looking at that now, with the way that the NBA is set up, these teams they trick you into their theater, they reveal it, and ultimately, since you got half the league making it to the playoffs, you should just have it 1 through 16. Just split up the East and the West, kind of in the way that they needed to revamp the All-Star games,
right?
And all of the games that take place at the All-Star game, the shooting competition, the dunk competition, blah 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 blah. They really need to look into revamping the playoffs.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think that the league really cares about the players? Because if they did, I feel like they would worry about the mileage that they put on these players.
No, because there's too many new. They're not worried about. Zion Williamson's waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
they couldn't care less about mileage. But I will say this. I personally believe, and you can hear it here first, LeBron James is going to destroy the league next year, because this is going to be the first year that LeBron James will actually have like 4 months off for his body to repair.
Right.
That's a long time for a guy that plays 10 months out of every year.
Yeah, maybe 11. And they show him picking up games during the year. And I think that it's just good for him to step away from the game, and maybe he can.
I think so too. I saw some footage of him on the dancing and on vacation, which is great.
Getting the salsa up.
Yeah, he needs to get himself together.
He's in great shape.
Because he's gonna mess around with his legacy if he comes to LA and things continue in this like kind of debacle. It'll be interesting to see which superstar comes. I hate it because they're gonna try to put together another super team, which they don't need.
Yeah,
they have a great team.
But you don't know if these guys can mentally bounce back from what just happened in this, this last season.
I don't think that they can, because they couldn't even.
Except for Brandon Ingram,
they couldn't even mentally bounce back. He couldn't even mentally bounce back from being on the trading block.
Who, Brandon Ingram?
Yeah,
Brandon Ingram lit them up after that whole scenario. Brandon Ingram had great games.
He had some great games, but he didn't have team games.
Well, now he's putting on he knew they were out of it. He's putting it on the show for himself. He's putting this. If he's on the block, he's trying to get a job.
I don't know. He needs to continue on with that protein shake. He has a job, and it's to dominate, and he can do that.
He does it. You can't stop the young man.
I don't know. He wrapped his up early. He wrapped his up early, too.
I mean, we got the DVT.
Yeah.
Bill Biv DeVoe.
ABC. DVD. The East Coast family. It was, this is a bad look. And it's another situation that usually comes about from being tall. A lot of DVT. I mean, it happens to a lot of people, but that circulation, there's an actual distance issue that the blood has to go, and it can clot up from your heart to the bottom of your feet, blah, blah, blah. So, moving on. I don't know if you got a chance to check it out, but, man, the world of boxing is very upset because those bad judges reared their ugly heads down in Monterey.
Munguia, huh?
Jaime Munguia, who everybody believed was the next big star, going to be star middleweight. He's at 154 now. He's looked suspect in the ring a couple different times, but everybody said, oh, he's just young. Because then there's been other times where he just destroyed guys. He destroyed Saddam Ali. Looked like him and Saddam Ali shouldn't even have been in the same weight class. Well, he went out to Monterey and fought a mandatory cat named Dennis Hogan. And Dennis Hogan beat him, just plain and simply. He beat him. And he got the decision. Hogan said he wanted to exercise his rematch clause immediately. And
I'm surprised that he got a rematch clause.
Me too.
Usually that's only on the big money stage.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm sure they'll find a way to get out of it. But I don't know what they do next for Munguia because you're going to have to protect him.
Yeah. And a guy like him, he likes to mix it up, but it's not to his
advantage.
It's not to his
advantage. Strength.
Yeah. He's a lone guy, so he needs to stay outside and use boxing skills. And I just don't think that he's.
I think he's caught up in being the Mexican star. Yeah. I think he's caught up in fighting the Mexican style and being the Mexican star.
Yeah.
And he's already been talking about how he wants to fight Triple G and Canelo. That would be a terrible decision for him. Either one of those guys will end his career
early,
really early. Like you're not championship level. Canelo now is talking about how he wants to fight Kovalev.
Yeah, I'm reading that.
And you got.
That's not really good if you can already fight Danny Jacobs, and now you're talking about fighting Kovalev. Why don't you finish this?
I agree. And Danny seems super focused.
Yes.
He really seems focused. He's not popping off. He's not talking crazy. There's no,
Oscar and them did a great job by, structuring this deal so that
the weigh-in situations and all that.
Danny can come in juicy on him.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And then Danny was really disappointed that Oscar did that as a fighter. Yeah, but they're paying attention at Golden Boy. Then we have what many people believe is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Vasily Lomachenko. Beat up on Corolla at the Staples Center. And, folks, I know a lot of you feel like that I hate on Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko's a good fighter. Only reason I can't, I think he's a great athlete, and I think he's a good fighter. And I love the way he talks because he actually believes he's a great fighter. And that's why he talked about Floyd Mayweather recently and said, Mayweather, these other guys, they're celebrities. They're not athletes. They're not necessarily interested. He said that he would have loved to fight Floyd at Floyd's peak because Floyd didn't like to fight people at his peak.
Yeah.
And he wants that opportunity. He calls out Mikey Garcia after the fight, after he beats up Corolla. All right. Loma's fantastic. Let me give you that. But I need to see if he's great. And the only way that I see if he's great is when he actually gets to fight high-level competition. Corolla was high-level competition, but he was on the downside of his career.
Right.
The best test that we've seen for him, other than the fight that he lost, was, when you're talking equal weight class, was the fight against Jorge Linares, which he was losing.
Yes.
Now, he did what he was supposed to do, and he came back and he won the fight.
I like that.
I like that, too. He got off the mat. I actually like that he got off the mat.
I like that.
Showed me a lot.
Shows you heart.
But Bob Arum and Top Rank protecting him to the point where he never really fights anybody I don't believe is good for Loma. And
it's not good for the sport.
It seems like it's definitely not good for the sport, but it seems like Loma realizes that it's not good for Loma. That's why you can't imagine Bob Arum actually wanting Loma to call out Mikey Garcia.
I can't imagine working out in the gym all the time and not getting to fight nobody. I couldn't imagine that because he's.
And you can see he gets bored when he gets in there against these guys who aren't on the level.
Let's just do this, get this over with.
Yeah,
because you can see that the guy lives in the gym.
The guy lives in the gym.
He's a great athlete.
He's super disciplined.
And then you get in there and he's got to mop up some bums. Like, where is the competition? Because most athletes do their thing, not just for the cheese, but for the competition.
And he was there for the competition against Jorge Linares.
Come on.
He was there. He answered the bell.
He answered the bell, but if you keep putting people out like that for him to fight, then, eventually it's going to hurt him long term because he's going to get the notches on his belt for dubs, but for wins. But then what are you going to do at the end of the day when you step in there with a competitive opponent?
I would love to see him fight Mikey Garcia.
I would love to see him fight Tank.
Yeah, and you know what? And Leonard Ellerbe, the Mayweather CEO, came out and said that Bob Arum is just bumping his gums, and that the only time he mentions the Mayweather fighter is when Loma's fighting somebody that's a nobody.
Right.
And he knows good and well he doesn't want to send the paperwork over to actually get it signed to make a fight. That was Ellerbe's stance.
I have to agree with him. And I'm not a big Leonard Ellerbe TMT team guy.
Yeah.
But they're playing games.
They don't want to. People don't want to make the best fights. Now, what we're looking at with the proliferation, with HBO wrapping it up, HBO boxing wrapping it up, and with the proliferation of boxing of being now these separated, you have DAZN, you have Fox, who has all the PBC guys, and then you have Showtime still, and you have ESPN Plus. So ESPN has the top ranked guys, which they're stable. Primarily, their two workhorses in that stable are Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford, who then in turn, Bob Arum protects from fighting anybody and prevents from fighting anybody in the PBC camp or in the independent camp like Mikey Garcia.
Because those are his cash cows.
Exactly. But these are the fights that people want to see.
Right. This is the same thing the same problem that I had with Deontay Wilder as well. Because they go independent and it makes it that much harder to get fights. It seems like it should be the direct opposite, but it's not. Because these guys.
But independent did allow Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder to happen.
Yeah, but they didn't think that it was going to be that kind of situation.
And now it prevented. I think Deontay Wilder thought it was going to be that, and he believes in himself to the fullest. And that's why
I'm talking about the fight being tough like that. I think that he didn't think that the fight was going to be tough like that. That's why they let him get in there. Tyson Fury get in there like that.
Who are we talking about?
Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
But I'm saying, who is the they that we're talking about?
The powers that be.
So Deontay Wilder is the one that calls his own shots,
right? But when
him and Shelly Finkel,
okay,
he's not stabled. There is no stable.
But everybody thought that he was stable.
Everybody thought he was just a Showtime fighter. But the thing is there was no restraints, which is why he was always wide open to fight Anthony Joshua. You know,
which is one reason why the fight never happened.
Primarily because Anthony Joshua was on DAZN.
Yeah.
And so all of the terms and everything had to be DAZN.
The A side.
And it always comes back to that, which is ridiculous. And now you're looking at, and this is where, to me, this is probably the biggest benefit of Spence Garcia. I didn't need to see Mikey Garcia get beat up fighting Earl Spence. I really didn't need to see that. And even though it was a surprise to everybody else, it wasn't necessarily a surprise to us.
No.
And so now, but that was PBC, Al Heyman and them playing nice with an independent group, with Mikey. Now, how can we get Terrence Crawford in Top Rank, even though, and I'm with you, I don't believe the fighters are scared.
Yeah.
So how can we get Terrence Crawford in Top Rank to agree to a fight with Earl Spence? Or if not Earl Spence, with Sean Porter. Or with not Sean Porter, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the opposite camp. And we can't seem to find it. And this seems to be what's holding up. Now, Top Rank had that big, long 2.5-year, 3-year contract dispute with Mikey Garcia, which kept him out of the ring in his prime. But for that time. So Bob Arum isn't going to bless Mikey Garcia with a big payday against Loma.
Right, but
even though that's the fight everybody wants to see.
Boxing needs to be governed in some form of fashion.
That's what it is.
Because
this is something the late Senator John McCain was really good about.
Yeah, because right now you got the promoters holding the game.
That's it.
Hostage.
Holding the sport hostage.
Yeah, the sport hostage. It's not right. But if people
same situation with this kid Brian Garcia.
And then you get an opportunity with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua where they put up all this money, because I sort of understand what DAZN was trying to do by putting that border up, that wall up between Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Because
I understand what they were trying to do in the sense that they're trying to do something revolutionary and actually do a paradigm shift in the game and saying, well, pay-per-view is out.
Right. And then also, if we're going to have stables, we can knock down this whole stable thing by having everybody on one platform. And in this one platform, everybody will be able to fight whoever we decide that they are going to fight, or whoever.
A la the UFC.
Yes, because if this whole thing goes through with DAZN, the way that they had planned it, you would see all of the fighters in there being
just
able
like we're
to fight,
seeing now.
yes, with anybody at any time.
Just like we're seeing with Canelo now.
Yeah, because you got your cheese, so don't worry about it. Your money is guaranteed.
Money is guaranteed.
You got your money.
Do you really want to fight or
now,
not?
do you really
and a guy like Canelo does really want to fight.
Yes, he does. And now I have a question mark with Deontay Wilder because he's not jumping in there, but they offered
big money.
For big money.
Big money. Yeah.
So I understand their game plan, and I haven't heard anything to think that the zone is doing anything that people, should be leery of.
Me neither. I haven't heard any
they're
fighters.
paying them.
The last thing you need to be scared of is getting the bag.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're paying fighters.
Right.
I'm seeing the zone commercials now.
Put them in competitive competition.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes because, now you got Jaime Munguia. All the Golden Boy fighters are on the zone, including Canelo and Jaime Munguia and Ryan Garcia. So you have those guys, which are the Latin crew, if you will. I wonder who Usyk fights for.
I don't know.
I don't know who Usyk is with.
I would bet that he's going to end up on the zone pretty soon.
Yeah, I would too.
Especially since Klitschko is there. That's his boy.
Yeah, and also because they're talking about him, moving into heavyweights. He's got to fight. Was it Carlos Takam or Chisora?
Takam.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a rough fight. Yeah. Like Takam has already said that he thinks the way I need to win is to rough him up. Yeah. I need to make it dirty.
He plays like that.
He does. He give you that headbutt to the nose that you don't need.
Broke Anthony Joshua's nose early.
Ooh.
You like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, so there's that. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna really be interesting. I just hope that the sport wins. I hope that the sport wins, and it looks like it's gonna win.
You know what? To me, it's hard for the guys to be selfish and look out for themselves. I mean, and not look out for themselves and look out for the sport. When you're talking about fighting, you're talking about fighting. You're talking about brain damage. You're talking about
talking about one fight can end your career
or your life.
Or your life. At which point, whatever it is that you have acquired financially is what it is that you have, and that's it. That's your full earning potential.
Exactly. But then you also want these guys to say, "Oh, you know what? I want to do the right thing for the sport." Whereas when you see somebody like Floyd Mayweather,
that's a tall ask.
Yeah,
when you put it like that, it's a really tall ask.
Floyd Mayweather's like, "Screw the sport."
Yeah, what's that got to do with
I'm
me?
going to put on a show. And
I played for the sport for about 10 years, 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to get mine.
And it didn't do anything but bust my body up.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to play the villain. I'm going to get mine.
Great work.
And he cashed out. Cash Money Records. Yeah. I mean, you put it like that. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, folks. We saved it for last, and it's my favorite thing. The game of Major League Baseball is in full swing. Not even a lot of rainouts. Very happy about that.
Yeah.
We got breaking news. Blake Snell's going to miss a start with a toe fracture, which is very disappointing because
really?
I have him on my fantasy team.
And he's the best pitcher in baseball.
Now he is the best pitcher in baseball.
As I said.
That wasn't the case when you said it 2 weeks ago.
I told you he was the best pitcher in baseball.
He wasn't.
It was.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
because your team, the Astros, just dug him out.
Well, they dig everybody out. Everybody got to get dug.
Not actually.
Everybody get up.
but it is what it is. But now he's also not the best because he's heading to the DL, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll be quick because I got him on my... Yeah, you believe that?
Kid was dealing. I wonder how he fractured his toe.
Right? They could have gave him to Ozzie Smith. He might have just had to move furniture in the middle of the night and busted his toe up. Who knows? But what I wanted to speak about is I don't know if you got time to read the LA Times article on Yasiel Puig.
I have not, and you told me about it, and I have not read it.
Well, it is a great article. It's a one-sided article about basically they speak to the Dodgers clubhouse about Yasiel Puig, about what it was like when he was there, and they put the article out in advance of him returning to Dodger Stadium. And we want to hear a little bit from Mr. Puig when he got there yesterday.
I'm excited to be here. I miss a little bit this place because all the fans coming every day and support me for 6 years. And I'm excited to fight my old teammates. I faced 2 times in spring training, but we play around in spring training, and now this is serious. And we're here to do the best we can like a team and try to beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, so you've always talked about how much you miss the fans, you love the fans here. What kind of reception do you think you're going to get tonight, and how emotional is that going to make you? And then final question, I don't know if you faced Kershaw before, outside of just, on the backfield. It's going to be like facing him.
The more I miss, like I told you before, is the fans and all the great people in Los Angeles. And it's going to be a lot of people tonight and these 3 days coming to see the Dodgers, of course, and see me dive back for the first time and see my Cam and Farmer. Alex Wood is not here now, but he's going to be soon. And we're excited to play here and face Kershaw. I never faced him before, but we're going to do the best we can, see the best pitches that we can to have to hit a hit or got a hit, face the best pitch in baseball now.
Well, he did exactly that. And Yasiel Puig showed up and hit a bomb off of Clayton Kershaw in his first at bat.
Yard.
Dead center. Big bomb. Terrible pitching, to be honest, because he just made him look bad on a curveball, and then he served him up center cut with a fastball, a cut fastball at 89.
Yeah, but that was in the first inning.
It is what it is. It was a terrible pitch. But it was his only mistake of the night because Clayton Kershaw was super sharp. I mean, super sharp last night on Jackie Robinson Day at Dodger Stadium. But the piece that I want to speak about is this article, because Clayton Kershaw was also the only Dodger who was Puig's former teammate, who spoke highly of him, in my opinion. He spoke highly of him. Clayton Kershaw, if you go check out the article in the Times, said, no matter how anybody felt about Yasiel, that guy helped us win a lot of games, and there's no two ways about that. There's no debate in that. And he spoke well about him, and Jock Peterson spoke really highly about him, said he's one of his favorite people in the world. And the rest of the Dodgers, I have to say, came off like a bunch of haters. It was very interesting because the article was well written. Puig didn't contribute because he said he didn't want to speak about the Dodgers and Dodger Stadium in advance of going to Dodger Stadium, where he knew he was going to have to speak about the Dodgers and Dodger Stadium, which was understandable. And the Dodgers were not hesitant whatsoever to speak on it. Dave Roberts was really classy, and he spoke about it. And Dave Roberts spoke on Puig and the experience and said that, when he is incentivized to play well, he's a great ball player. And he was disappointed to hear that Yasiel Puig said that since this is a free agent year, he's going to try hard because he never tried hard with the Dodgers. But it goes back to one of the things that we've covered on the OZone extensively, which is the saga of Yasiel Puig since he came up was about him being a raw talent, a raw athlete who was thrust into the spotlight and accelerated and never had the chance to develop as a ball player. But he was expected to be a superstar. And he performed at that level in certain aspects, probably much better than anybody else who didn't have the grooming that we've ever seen. And what happened, unfortunately, is being under the lights and being in the major leagues, he eventually got exposed because he wasn't ready. And there was a period when he got sent down to the minors. He made some bad plays. He was late. He had some cultural changes that he needed to do. Probably was up late because he kept getting his house broke into.
They were just talking about he was late yesterday to the ring ceremony that they had for him.
I believe he was late there on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's what I was about to get into. And so he part of what was going down in the article is the players, there was a lot of, oh, man, if I had a body like that guy, what could I have been? He could have been, if he was serious about helping us, we could have been a great team. Blah, 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 blah. He didn't pay attention to the defensive charting reports. He didn't pay attention to this. He didn't pay attention to that. What I can tell you is, in the World Series last year, Yasiel Puig was the best Dodger offensively, in my personal opinion, from watching all 5 games. Yasiel Puig came to play every day. And in the League Championship Series before that, this article made me realize how we spoke about it last year, that Puig should have been the MVP of the League Championship Series. This article made it clear to me that there's playing politics, which is why he was not the league champion. He was not the MVP of that series. And ultimately, they said he was late yesterday. Dave Roberts connected to give Alex Wood, Farmer, Kemp, and Puig their rings. Mm-hmm. And Puig didn't show up. And Puig said, he can give it to me in person at batting practice. He can leave it in my locker. I don't care. And it was very interesting because what I think is I think that he read this article.
You think he read it?
Yeah, I think he read this article. I don't think that kind of thing. When you read the article, you'll see it doesn't come off like it's in good form for most of the guys. I mean, and when you have been a Dodger fan and you watch all the guys that the Dodgers have shuffled in and out of the organization and how they treat guys and how they tolerate not good baseball players, and for them to sit around and talk about Puig
as if he's a bad person.
Really, as if he had serious personal problems, not just game problems.
I'm trying to find this because I had a note where he led that team since he's been with them either first or second in mostly all of the offensive categories.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
I believe it. And it's a trip because it's one of those things that to me it's a clear cut here's what they think about you. Because when he was here, it was Puig. You can see he's a fan favorite. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but it's these guys front running because, like I said before, when me and you were having a conversation, is that he was supposed to be the next thing smoking. You know what I'm saying? So everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Everybody's on the team Puig. And then as soon as everybody finally gets an opportunity to dump on him, they dump on him. But it's not about his talent. The Dodgers put him out there too early. That wasn't his fault.
And he still balled.
And he still performed.
When he first came up,
he just didn't live up to his potential.
Yes.
And you can't live up to your potential if you don't set aside certain things for a guy. Now, I know that guys get jealous because certain guys are catered to, but it's been like that through sports history.
And it's like that.
And
it's like that in the movies. It's like that in Hollywood.
It's like that everywhere.
Yeah.
So when guys are offended because they're catering to this guy who has 5 tools, although he might not live up to the 5 tools, he has them, and he can live up to them. Everybody who was his buddy at that time, hey, yeah, Puig, this is funny, this is hilarious, and then as soon as he gets out of town, they're like, oh, man.
It was a nightmare to deal with this guy, dude.
I'm glad we got rid of him.
More or less. That's what they said without those words.
Mm-hmm.
More or less.
You can't blame it on Puig. Of course, you can blame some of it. He has to take responsibility for some of that.
Yeah.
But for the most part.
For showing up late and
yeah,
all
for
that
showing
kind
up
of
late
stuff.
and even missing his cutoffs and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but if you see a guy who's playing like that, there needs to be some kind of disciplinary action that goes forward. You can't just let him slide. And without them doing that to him, he got even worse.
And his coach now said that he's had no tardiness issues whatsoever.
I guess not in Cincinnati.
He's had no problem whatsoever with being on time.
Once again, the Dodger organization brought him up fast. He filled the seats. He performed well.
Sold a lot of jerseys.
Still selling jerseys.
Yeah.
And he's still a fan favorite.
Right. I bet you that Puig 66 will end up being a classic.
Yeah, and he hit the bomb last night. Fans went crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, off of Kershaw.
Dead center.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bomb.
That was a bomb.
I was surprised.
Me too. Kershaw got him. I mean, afterwards.
He did.
He was so bad.
But that's what I was saying. That was the first inning. He hadn't pitched all year. So, he's rusty. He's only going to get better. And when you talk about Kershaw, he's only going to get better. But this situation with him and Puig, there was no animosity. Clayton Kershaw is a solid guy. He's a solid person.
Individual, yes. He's a solid person.
So his character, he won't go down there in the gutter with the other guys.
And the other thing is the part that surprised me was the willingness of the guys to speak about the stuff that happens in private in the clubhouse. There was a real willingness. Guys were really, I mean, if you read the article, they're pretty candid about some of their situations with him. So I was really, I have to say, I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed, especially as a Dodger fan.
Who disappointed you the most?
I'd say probably JT.
Really?
Justin Turner went hard on him. And I understand because Justin Turner
wants to win.
And he's also a fundamentally sound individual. But I was really surprised at the candidness with which they spoke.
I feel like Puig wants to win too, but he wants to win his way.
Puig wants to win his way, or Turner wants to win his way?
Puig wants to win his way. Turner is sort of in a structured baseball environment where he's a Southern California kid where we all learn how to play a certain kind of way and carry yourself a certain kind of way. Where Puig came off the island, Puig swings the stick, hits a bomb, he enjoys it, he pimps it around the bases, and Turner's the more the guy that hit his bomb and put his head down, act like you've been there.
Yes.
So we're talking about corporate and blue collar?
Potentially, but and we're also talking about it. I wonder what the age difference is between the two of them, because Puig is more of the Bryce Harper ilk of, hey, let the guys play, and let the young guys. If you hit a bomb, pimp it. If you strike me out, you pimp it. And then guys don't have a problem with that, which is a more Caribbean style of baseball for sure. But Puig hit his bomb last night, and he did his bat flip and ran the sacks. There was nothing excessive or anything like that.
Kershaw's his boy.
Yeah. It was nothing disrespectful.
Yeah.
The bomb was disrespectful enough.
Puig is 28.
Puig is 28.
Mm-hmm.
I think JT is in the early 30s, 34, 33, something like that.
And JT is 34.
There you go. Yeah, and I read something very interesting today. They said your boy Carlos Zambrano's trying to make a comeback.
Saw that independently.
He's only 37.
I wonder what his fuzz looks like.
He said he can touch 94 still.
That's good enough.
That's enough. He said last time he pitched in Venezuela in the Caribbean Winter League. He was not successful. He was touching 89, but he said he's ready to get back to the show.
Think he got on the juice?
He should.
He wasn't in the league.
He wasn't in the league. He's just for personal rehabilitation.
The only thing that held him back was his temper.
Yeah, he had a problem.
He was a freaking hothead.
He was a hothead, but he could deal.
He could deal.
Man, you get the wrong Carlos Zambrano, you go get carved.
Take you a dose to the dome, too.
And then carve you.
And then ready for a fight.
And he's ready. He's actually ready for a fight. Very aggressive young man. Oh, man. Talk to me about how you feel about baseball. What's going on with the Red Sox? I thought they were going to snap out of it, and they're still knee-deep in it.
Man,
I feel like we're beyond a World Series hangover.
Why? Why you can't? They're sluggish, man. Nobody's swinging the stick. Benintendi, Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts came out and said, what I'm doing is
unacceptable. Yeah, J.D. Martinez.
And the Tampa Bay Rays are by far the best team in that league.
Yeah. I tried to told you.
What? Why are you reacting like you did not try to tell me that the Rays were the best team in the American League?
I was telling you that you go back and listen. I was telling you that the Tampa Bay, don't be surprised if the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, when we left off the devil. We were the one fool.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
But Tampa Bay is the real deal. They won 90 games last year. Come on, man. This is a tough. If these teams fall back too far early, it could be lights out for the Yankees or the Red Sox. Because Tampa Bay has figured out a formula that works.
Small ball and defense.
Yeah. And if you stay to that formula, you will always win.
The defense, meaning pitching in baseball, is always going to work.
Mm-hmm. Look at what the Astros do.
And if they stay healthy, and it looks like Charlie Morton is still Charlie Morton. He still like he
I don't even know why the Astros let him walk.
Me too. Yeah. Especially if you let Dallas Keuchel walk.
Yeah.
I thought if it's, if they're going to end
one
up
picking
picking
the other,
right? Yeah.
But they have so many kids down there, and you think that they were going to bring some of them up. They didn't do it. They had a monster bullpen, but the Astros are ranked number 1 right now in baseball and power rankings. I mean, you got the Mets look great.
They won 9 straight.
The Mets look great. And they went. And
the Mets look like low-key. Some days the Mets look like the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with the youth movement.
Mm-hmm. Philly looks great. And so that East over
there. The Braves look solid.
And the Braves just have a problem with that rotation right now.
Yeah. Had to drop your boy Sean Newcomb
down.
Yeah,
they dropped him down.
Tookie got some burn.
But they brought Tookie back up. Tookie's the real deal.
We're going to see.
Yeah, he was all right last year, but you're talking about losing Newcomb, but bringing up Max Fried, how do you pronounce it?
Fried, I do believe.
Max Fried, and your boy Folanowitz comes back.
Yeah,
and
he comes back this week.
And Gosman, I mean, so they're going to be competitive, but
if they can get anything out of Julio Teheran, it's just amazing to me how he fell off and was unable to adjust.
Yeah, Josh Donaldson starting to swing stick.
Josh Donaldson is looking like Josh Donaldson, the MVP.
He hit a bullet yesterday.
Hit a bomb the other day. Hit a bomb on Sunday, I do believe.
It was one of the lowest line drives out of the stadium in history. I don't even think it was 40 feet, they said.
Man, he's hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, he's swinging the stick. They have a bunch of the youth movement in the game is unbelievable now. With Washington, with Juan Soto.
I would say that Atlanta's is the most impressive with Albies, Acuna.
Acuna's the real deal, man.
Tookie, Fried, Folanowitz. I mean, if you want to throw Newcomb in there, they got a great blend of young and old. Dansby Swanson is still a kid.
He's still a kid. And then you look at over there in the West, you got the Padres. The Padres are looking great.
Padres look good. I don't know if the Padres look great. You think they look great?
Yeah, they look great.
They look great.
They look
great.
You know why they look great? Because they're doing it with pitching and defense. Now, they haven't started rolling yet, but
Hosmer still hasn't even started swinging it yet.
Yeah, and Manny really hasn't started swinging. He's batting like 240 and 250. Yeah. But you're talking about defensively, if you hit anything to that left side, it's locked.
It's locked up. Tatis and Manny Machado got it locked.
Come on, man.
Who's the second baseman? Because Hosmer's a Gold Glove first baseman.
They have Ian Kinsler.
Oh yeah, Ian Kinsler's over there on the right side.
And that kid Urias.
Yeah, they have nice defense.
Yeah, they have nice defense, and they have a little pop mixed in there with the little line drive hitters. They're the real deal.
Yeah,
they might not make it this year, but in the next year or two, the Padres are going to be a serious problem.
I have no idea what's going to happen in baseball this year.
Yeah,
this is
not like basketball.
There's a lot of parity in the league. The only thing that I know is going to happen if there's no injuries is that Christian Yelich is going to continue to rake. I mean, Christian Yelich is out here putting on a show.
I want to see what Kershaw's going to do with him this weekend.
Man, I'm not optimistic based on
really
Christian. Christian Yelich is seeing the baseball. The thing has to look like a beach ball out there.
You can see him when you go oppo, in the power alleys like that. It looks great.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of confidence now.
That's what I was going to say. And based on what Don Mattingly told us himself back a few years ago when he was in Miami, and we're talking about a team with Stanton, Ozuna, Yelich, Bohr, Dietrich,
who was at short?
JT Realmuto, Echeverria was at short, and they had one more stud on that team too. And he said that offensively, he was the best player out of all of them. He said he felt like Christian Yelich had the highest ceiling out of all of those guys offensively.
Yeah, he swings stick, man. And because he's hitting for power right now, but he's not focusing on hitting for power. He's just trying to hit the ball hard. He's hitting it on the line. He's getting out the park. And you can see him working counts and putting pitchers in bad situations so that he can get his pitch. And he's not missing it. That's the big thing.
And he's not missing his pitch.
Because you can't miss your pitch. You might just get one a game. Last night, he hit 3.
Last night he hit 3.
Come on, man.
3 bombs, dude.
I'm glad I'm not playing against him in fantasy. For a change.
I wouldn't doubt if I am. I need to look at my thing. Yeah, he's gonna rake. I don't. But
in that Central though, I mean, who do you have? The Brewers look real, but their pitching rotation
I'm going
is suspect.
with the Cardinals. I love the Cardinals lineup. I love the Cardinals. I feel like that rotation
is suspect for the Cardinals.
It is suspect, and they're going to need to make an acquisition. It would be great if they could get Madison Bumgarner
or Dallas Keuchel.
I wonder why they wouldn't look into Dallas Keuchel, because that seems like a very
couple people are
effective
kicking tires on him.
Yeah, that would be a very effective national. He'd be a very effective National League pitcher.
Yeah, because they talk about the Yankees kicking tires on him right now as well.
He carved the Yankees every time they played.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll pan out in New York though, but I mean they need pitching. The Cubs, if they can ever get their act together, but they're throwing the ball around still. So
the Cubs and then it won't take long in the Central, man.
Yeah,
you can't mess around.
And then in the National League West,
but their offense finally looks like it's starting to pick up. But you can't win not playing defense.
Yeah, in the National League West right now, the only team that's looking like halfway dominant are the Padres.
Yeah, the Dodgers started off fast and then fell off.
Yeah, they had lost 5 in a row. Now they're 5 out of the last 6.
I think now last night they walked off. Jacques walked off.
Yeah,
so
they walked off. They had lost 5 in a row though before that.
I know that they were last night going in. I was listening to it, and I went to the stadium. They were 6 out of their last 7 that they had lost. So now they're 6 out of their last 8 that they've lost after starting off 8-1 or 7-1.
The Rockies
and then
look terrible.
They beat teams they were supposed to beat. This is why I wasn't through the roof about them.
Yeah, the Rockies aren't looking good right now.
I like teams that are grinding games out, and that's actually why I like the Phillies. I like how the Phillies have been playing. I like how the Mets have been playing. You might watch a Mets game, and the Mets will get down, and they'll come back. Or you might watch a Mets game and somebody will absolutely deal. The Mets can beat you 8-5 as well as they can beat you 2-1.
Yeah, and they need to get Syndergaard on track because Syndergaard's stinking the joint up. His ERA is up there like 4 or something. Right?
I wonder what's going on with him. It must be a mechanics issue.
He throws hard, and then a lot of young guys when they throw hard, they depend on throwing hard.
Yeah,
you just got to learn how to pitch because
and last night,
timing.
One thing that I saw last night that was really promising was that Clayton Kershaw, even though it's the Reds, and they're not a great team, but they have a formidable offense.
Yeah,
Joey Votto wasn't in the lineup, but I think that he showed last night his commitment to pitching.
Yes,
and he had guys off balance.
Did.
I can go 7. I got 7. 7.
I felt like he could have went 9 last night.
He could have. He went with the minimum after he gave up the bomb to Puig, I think, into the 6th.
Yes.
Now he started to carve.
He knows how to pitch, but last year his velocity was lower last year than it is now, and he was still effective. I had some stat that his ERA hasn't been over 3 his whole career.
2.73 was the highest that it's been.
Yes. Come on, man.
2.73 in general is
especially
like
after last year because he used to be a power pitcher.
Yes.
And now he's just finessing you.
Yeah. Yeah, his will to win is unmatched. He really wants it. And so that leads me to believe that he's going to figure out some way to continue to get guys out.
What did he have? 7 strikeouts last night? 6 or 7 strikeouts?
That's enough. Yeah. You don't have to strike out 12 guys, right?
I just need you to roll over, get into the double play.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop up in the
Dodgers actually played good defense last night.
Yeah. They didn't score again once he was on the ball.
It last night looked like Kershaw early 2012, 13, back when he was absolutely totally dominant, but they would give him 1 run, if that.
I think that 90 miles an hour is enough to get people out with his stuff.
I agree. Because the curveball is still devastating.
Yeah,
the curveball is still coming in 74.
I think he threw 25% of curveballs last night. And usually they said he throws like 14%.
I really like that. I like his straight cheese as opposed to this cutter. And I believe that the cutter had a lot to do with him losing his cheese. But
just
I
like
also,
Frankie Rodriguez.
Like Frankie Rodriguez, this cutter/slider that they call it. That's
He didn't need that. He had the 12-6 was way more than enough.
High cheese and the 12-6, he's going to get out 99% of the guys in the league.
Mix in the changeup,
lights out. And then now it's a cut. Now you've thrown this cutter. And the same thing happened to Mariano Rivera.
But I think that's what Puig did last night, though, right?
Same thing happened to Kenley Jansen, who, by the way, gave up the booty last night, even though he ended up with the win.
Kenley's only throwing like 91, 92 or something.
It's not enough for my closer.
Not enough for your closer. I need a shutdown.
I need Edwin Diaz.
Yes.
I need to come in blowing gas.
Straight fuzz.
Fuzz.
Here come the fuzz.
Man. All right, folks. This is it. Another OZone podcast for just sliding in before we give you a big relaunch. You're going to see big. It's going to be huge. You got anything else you want to cover?
That's it. That's well-rounded.
Well-rounded. OZone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And it's a quote about humility, and it is, a great man is always willing to be little. Don't get too big for your britches, folks. I'm your host, Omar Miller.
OZone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is not just a game.